South Africa's wealthiest black billionaire, the president of CAF, a man married into political royalty, Patrice Motsepe, hailed by some as a symbol of black excellence, but is there more beneath the surface? What if I told you his rise to power is very closely tied to South Africa's political elite, especially Ramaphosa? Today, I'm diving into what I believe is suspicious, tightly woven web of wealth, politics, and family that's rarely questioned. This is the suspicious Patrice and Ramaphosa connection. Patrice Motsepe is a mining magnate and a businessman who became a billionaire thanks to a little-known law that changed everything: South African Black Economic Empowerment Policy, or BEE. But here is where it gets interesting. Motsepe didn't become rich in vacuum. He got his major start in the mining industry in the mid-90s, just after apartheid ended, when the ANC began pushing for black ownership of industries. Perfect timing, right? Motsepe founded African Rainbow Minerals, or ARM, and through BEE deals, he bought undervalued mining assets from white-owned companies. In plain terms, Motsepe got discounted assets with political backing, while other black entrepreneurs were not so lucky. And this is where story begins to overlap, very conveniently, with Ramaphosa. Now, let's talk about family, because this isn't just politics or business. This is personal. Ramaphosa is married to Tshepo Motsepe. And who is Tshepo? She's a Patrice Motsepe's sister. That's right. South Africa's president is married to the sister of its richest black billionaire. This isn't speculation, it's a known fact. So when you hear about Ramaphosa pushing pro-business policies or soft-pedaling mining regulations, ask yourself, is this family loyalty or just politics? It raises an uncomfortable question. How much of Patrice Motsepe's success is due to pure business genius, and how much of it is because of strategic, family-level access to political power? And let's be honest, it's a conflict of interest that rarely gets talked about in mainstream media. Motsepe is often paraded as the poster boy of black economic empowerment. But if you really look into BEE, it benefited politically connected individuals, and Patrice is Exhibit A. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Patrice's company secured multi-billion rand deals, many involving state-owned entities and mining rights. Guess who was deeply entrenched in the ANC leadership at the time? Ramaphosa. Sure, BEE was supposed to empower ordinary South Africans, but all we really saw were a handful of politically connected billionaires emerging. Let's not forget, Ramaphosa himself became filthy rich during the same BEE boom. With deals like Shanduka Group, Ramaphosa and Motsepe moved in same circles, benefited from the same policies, and let's be real, helped shape a system that helped them and left them millions behind. Now, let's get to the suspicious part, because when billionaires get this powerful, things really stay clean. Motsepe has mostly stayed scandal-free, at least publicly, but some of their associations raises red flags. In 2018, Patrice was accused of using his influence to interfere in energy policies, particularly when independent power producers were awarded government contracts. Critics said Motsepe's company stood to benefit directly, and when the energy minister, Jeff Radebe, is married to Bridget Radebe, another Motsepe sibling. This family literally had connections in the presidency, the energy ministry, and the mining industry. If that doesn't raise eyebrows, I don't know what does. Then there's African Rainbow Energy and Power Company, another Motsepe vehicle that raised controversy for its links to state contracts. Ramaphosa was asked if there was a conflict of interest, and he shrugged it off. Of course he did, it's his family. Motsepe isn't just a businessman, he's a master of optics. In 2021, he became president of Confederation of African Football. Many believe this move was backed or at least pushed by FIFA president Gianni Infantino. Some sports commentators claimed it was a political power play, with South African diplomacy playing a key role behind the scenes. Why does a mining billionaire suddenly want to run African football? Maybe it's legacy, or maybe, just maybe, it's influence, soft power, global branding. The Motsepe name isn't just South African now, it's African. Now, here is my opinion. I don't believe Motsepe got where he is purely through hard work. Was he smart? Sure. But he was also connected, timely, and strategically placed in a system that rewarded the politically loyal. And Ramaphosa is not just president, his family. These aren't just political alliances, they're family empires that quietly influence everything from the state contracts to national policy. BEE was supposed to lift the masses, instead it made Motsepe a billionaire, Ramaphosa a tycoon, and kept millions of South Africans struggling. So, what do we do with all of this? Maybe you still admire Patrice Motsepe. That's your right, but don't ignore the full picture. Wealth in South Africa doesn't just come from the hustle. Sometimes it just comes from who you marry, who you know, and how close you are to the seat of power. The connection between Motsepe and Ramaphosa isn't just suspicious. It's a symbol of how tightly power and money are locked together in our country. Thanks for watching. If this gave you a new perspective, drop like, leave a comment, and for more interesting videos from my channel.